Sakura stared silently at her medical scroll, sitting patiently beside Sasuke's hospital bed. He returned with one of Jiraiya's toads, broken and bruised. He was rushed to the hospital, waking the next day. He wasn't allowed to leave just yet, his throat requiring additional treatment. He tried to run off, but Kakashi kept him in the hospital. The procedure was done a few hours ago, the Uchiha sleeping gently. Sakura glanced at him, the look on his face flashing through her mind. She'd never seen him so horrified, so enraged. It worried her, so she stayed at his side. He didn't acknowledge her presence. He barely even moved after Kakashi forced him to stay. Naruto and Haku had returned with Lady Tsunade yesterday. The plans for the Hokage naming ceremony were already being made. That brought Sakura a bit of relief. It also made her consider something she'd planned on doing for a while now: find a proper medical teacher. All the medical knowledge she had was from books, scrolls, and the occasional bits of information from Haku. But there weren't many in the village who practiced medical ninjutsu, and none were looking for shinobi students. It wasn't that she didn't want to continue genjutsu with Kurenai. She'd been training with her just as hard. But Tsunade was her best bet if she wanted to improve her medical abilities. She heard a knock on the door, turning to see who entered. Haku closed the door behind her, coming to stand beside the open window. "Where is Naruto?" Sakura asked. Him and Haku were rarely separated. He and Lady Tsunade are performing a chakra DNA test. "What for?" Sakura asked, only vaguely aware of the procedure. "Naruto's hoping for answers regarding his elemental affinities. Afterwards, he's coming here to wait for the results. During that time, Lady Tsunade will be visiting Rock Lee. She hopes to fully heal his injuries from the match with Gaara." Sakura smiled. She had talked to Lee recently. He was the same taijutsu enthusiast. Though he was getting tired of having to use crutches to get around, he was itching to train again. Sakura truly hoped Tsunade would be able to help. "I also mentioned to Lady Tsunade your interest in medical ninjutsu," Haku added. "She looks forward to getting a chance to meet you." Sakura nodded in thanks, both turning to Sasuke. "Can you tell me what happened to him?" Sakura asked the Yuki. "We encountered his brother, the man that murdered the Uchiha. Jiraiya-sensei was the only reason him, Naruto, and myself weren't harmed further." "Why was his brother there?" Sakura finally asked, unsure what else to say. "A group called the Akatsuki are after Naruto, specifically the Nine-Tails." Haku sighed, clutching her neck. "Sasuke's brother, Itachi, appears to have joined them." The two girls were silent for several minutes, letting everything sink in. Sakura glanced between Haku and Sasuke. She looked closer at the Uchiha. The curse mark had grown since he returned, meaning his will to contain it was slipping. Based on how Haku was covering her own mark, she was also having trouble with it. Sakura felt powerless to help either of them. "Compared to everyone else, I'm useless. They're all tuning while I'm still a genin." Sakura's fists tightened. "All the more reason to train harder. I need to catch up. I can't let all of them suffer by themselves." A few more minutes went by and Naruto opened the door, joining the two girls. He was silent too. "Did the initial results tell you what you wanted to know?" Haku asked. Naruto shook his head. "Granny Tsunade needs more time to finish them." He looked up at the sleeping Sasuke. "How is he?" "He should wake up soon," Sakura replied. "He'll be free to leave the hospital tomorrow." Naruto nodded, reaching for the necklace underneath his jacket. Sakura's eyes were drawn to it, making her shuffle over to Naruto. "It's beautiful. Where did you get it?" "Tsunade gave it to me," Naruto replied. "I don't know how or why, but ever since she put it on me, my mind has felt clearer, as if nothing is trying to take over." Sakura frowned at Naruto's words. Both she and Haku knew he meant the Nine Tails. Haku knew better than anyone how often Naruto heard the fox. Even if it didn't speak, its low growls and rumbles constantly bothered Naruto. The blonde pushed through it, meditating almost every day. Their silence continued for only a moment before it was interrupted by Sasuke, sitting up in pain. Sakura rushed over to support him, but Sasuke batted her hands away, staring at Naruto. The blonde tried to look away, but the dark spheres drew him in. He was after the fox, wasn't he? Sasuke growled hoarsely. Naruto only nodded. Sasuke glared at him as he forced himself to stand. Sakura tried to stop him, but he drowned her out. You and me, on the roof, now. Naruto's eyes narrowed. I'm not fighting you, Sasuke. Not while you're recovering. Besides, I have this thing. Naruto turned around, pushing his hair away to reveal the back of his neck. Inserted into his neck was a small, black medical needle. It's part of the chakra DNA test. Until Tsunade removes it, my chakra network is turned off, Naruto explained. Sasuke didn't care, grabbing Naruto by the collar. Naruto stared wide-eyed, Sharingan staring back. I don't care if you have chakra. I want to fight and beat you. Why? Naruto asked. You promised you would help me, right? To beat Itachi? He's after you, which means you're the only way I can get his attention. Sasuke let go of Naruto, storming out of his hospital room. Naruto watched him leave, somewhat confused. Sasuke wasn't the type to achieve his goals so indirectly. Perhaps his encounter with Itachi had really changed something in him. He wasn't sure whether that was good or bad. Regardless, he did promise his help, and he'd already failed in the fight with Itachi. He was reluctant, but followed Sasuke outside. Haku and Sakura ran after them, the boys facing off from across the hospital roof. Sasuke slowly weaved hand signs, never taking his Sharingan off Naruto. He stood still, hoping that Sasuke would change his mind. And if he didn't, Naruto had to stop him, fast. Not only was his body still healing, but he couldn't risk damage to the building. He didn't want to risk Sasuke's mental state affecting him. The Uchiha finished his hand signs, revealing a pair of shuriken. Naruto readying himself for a barrage of shuriken, but the sound of clones appearing behind him made him turn. The first clone of Sasuke punched him in the jaw, making him stumble. He recovered in time to destroy the second clone. The real Sasuke and his clone attacked at once, kunai in hand. He dodged both, throwing a kunai. Sasuke blocked it easily, his clone charging forward, breathing a fireball. Naruto pushed off the wall behind him, jumping over the flames, landing in front of the Uchiha. He swung his blade, Naruto dropping beneath it. He kicked Sasuke's legs out, the Uchiha backflipping away while throwing lightning-powered kunai. Naruto weaved through them, receiving a few cuts. Naruto and a shadow clone threw a few punches before Naruto managed to destroy it. Lightning style, scatter shot. Naruto barely escaped the barrage without suffering severe damage. His hair was standing straight from the electricity in the air. Naruto felt the air thicken as Sasuke's hand was coated in lightning. The Uchiha was releasing ki, which stemmed from the active curse mark. His Chidori sparkled, aimed at the Uzumaki. "Stop it, Sasuke!" Sakura yelled. "You don't need to hurt anyone. Please, at least wait until Naruto has his chakra back." "Quiet, Sakura!" Sakura and Haku were taken aback. Naruto was the one to snap, the Uchiha barely noticing them. Naruto stared at his female teammates. Haku knew what that look meant, and she hated whenever he used it. "We can't interfere," Haku stated, placing her hand on Sakura's shoulder. "If we do, Naruto will be the one who is angry, not Sasuke." Sakura frantically glanced between her and the two boys. Naruto stared Sasuke down as the curse mark crawled halfway across his body. Sasuke charged, Naruto moving into a defensive stance. He planned on absorbing the Chidori like he had done with Kakashi. He wasn't entirely certain if he could still do so with his chakra shut down, but he knew from watching the Chidori that he couldn't dodge it, especially when empowered by the curse mark. Sasuke ran forward, zero hesitation in his eyes. His Sharingan glowed with hunger. He reared his arm back, ready to plunge the lightning through Naruto's chest. Before he could land the attack, he was thrown across the roof, his Chidori slamming into a water tank. An explosion of water poured out, drenching the dazed Uchiha. Naruto was shocked when Kakashi appeared in front of him. "You two are possibly the biggest idiots in the Hidden Leaf. What possessed you to fight in your current conditions, on top of a hospital?" Naruto opened his mouth to speak, but stopped himself. Kakashi was right. Even if he was just following Sasuke, that didn't excuse that he was part of the issue. Sasuke was panting heavily as the curse mark faded. It felt harder to deactivate it. He yanked his arm out of the water tank, more water gushing out. He looked back at his startled teammates. Kakashi glared back, his one eye impossible to read. It finally dawned on Sasuke what just happened. He fully intended on striking Naruto, yet he didn't consider the fact he would be injured. "How stupid am I?" Sasuke asked himself. "Why did I think Naruto would be able to survive? Do I think he's stronger than me? Strong enough to win without chakra? Did I treat him like a Itachi?" The Uchiha shook his head, jumping off the roof before Kakashi could turn to him. He didn't look back, running across the rooftops towards the Uchiha district. That's enough running away. Sasuke felt himself being pulled back by steel wire, tying him to the trunk of a tree. He looked up at Kakashi, who was frowning behind his mask. "You could have killed Naruto." Sasuke didn't respond. Kakashi sighed. "After my brief encounter with Itachi, you found out and chased after him. Now you know him and his group are after Naruto. Because of that, you see Naruto as a tool, a way to get stronger and to get to Itachi. However, you see him as someone who is much stronger than he actually is. You honestly thought he would survive that Chidori. But trust me, Sasuke, no one knows better than me that my lightning blade is deadly." Sasuke cursed under his breath. Thoughts swirled through his head. Kakashi was reading him, easily. His sensei knew what he was thinking before he did. "Listen, Sasuke. I understand how important your goal is. Defeating Itachi is a noble mission, but you're doing it solely out of revenge. I've seen too many go down that path, and almost all of them have wound up dead. If they do survive, they come out the other side less fulfilled than when they started." Sasuke's fists tightened. "How could you possibly understand how I feel? I went down the same path, for a time. Remember my old teammates, Rin and Obito? Obito died in front of me, gifting me his Sharingan, and Rin was captured by the hidden mist and then released. But, for reasons I still don't understand, she jumped in front of one of my attacks. I was the one who killed her, with my own lightning blade." The Jonin smiled behind his mask. "After that, I closed myself off, became a member of the Anbu, and used that as an outlet for my rage. I killed every shinobi from the mist that I could. I killed and killed and killed, but I was never satisfied. Even when I was pulled out of the Anbu and forced to train Genin, I was miserable. I failed dozens of teams, until you, Sakura and Naruto came along. You three, and many of my other friends are what drive me now, not revenge." His gaze softened. "I don't want you to go down the same path I did." Sasuke growled. "You think I will become like you?" "Worse," Kakashi admitted, making Sasuke pause. "The curse mark on your neck. Everyone knows it's affecting you. You block the pain. You try to ignore Orochimaru's influence. But no matter how much willpower you have, that snake will eventually get to you. I know you said to Naruto you wouldn't let that happen, but I've been around much longer than you, kid. Your thirst for strength to kill Itachi is stronger than anything. Orochimaru has methods to make you stronger, but in exchange, you give up your morality. I fear that you will not be able to avoid such a fate. Sasuke didn't speak. Kakashi was right about everything. Orochimaru's disembodied voice was still urging him. Every day, he felt closer to snapping. Every second, he felt a part of him turn black. He hated it. Kakashi-sensei, I need you to promise me something. The Jonin raised an eyebrow, freeing the Uchiha from his steel bindings. Sasuke looked up at him. If I ever decide to join Orochimaru, I want Naruto to be the one to deal with me, no one else. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Why him? Sasuke couldn't help but smirk. Because he's the only one who understands me. Kakashi frowned, even more confused as Sasuke stood up. Unlike you, he's not trying to make me give up on my goal. I will kill Itachi. You can't stop that. Naruto knows that too, but he's willing to help me, even if he doesn't approve of things like the curse mark. That's why he decided to fight me on the roof. I know what I did was stupid, and it will not happen again, but Naruto is the only one I can trust. Knowing he's improving constantly means I must do the same. Sasuke's nails dug into the skin surrounding the curse mark. I fear that one day I will fall to this mark. There's only so much this village can teach me. If it turns out to not be enough, I will have no choice. If that happens, Naruto is the only one who will be able to bring me back from whatever Orochimaru may do to me. Kakashi was silent. Sasuke believed everything he said. He'd gone through these thoughts many times before. He even admitted he wasn't strong enough to fend off the curse mark forever. Kakashi was willing to bet this was the first time Sasuke was being completely honest with someone since the Uchiha massacre. Sasuke glanced back at his sensei, his two-tomoed Sharingan shining pure red in the shadows of the tree. I hate Naruto. He's why I always feel inferior to everyone in this village. He's willing to put himself in harm's way. He's willing to destroy himself for the sake of others, even those who hate him. He denied the chance to be praised as the fourth Hokage's son, to be freed from the hatred he receives because of the Nine Tails. But that's why I will become stronger. Stronger than him, and stronger than Itachi. I want to be like him. Someone who can be strong enough to give themselves up for anyone. I know I'm selfish, but until I kill Itachi, I know I can't be anyone else. Naruto is the only one I can call a true friend. Only he can save me if I go down that path. So, promise me, Kakashi-sensei. Promise me that if that time comes, you will help Naruto to stop me. Kakashi paused, staring at his student. The Uchiha truly had thought this out thoroughly. Very well. I promise to let Naruto handle you. Sasuke nodded, his Sharingan deactivating. Without another word, he jumped onto the nearest rooftop, heading towards the Uchiha district. Kakashi watched him go, with an unpleasant feeling in his heart. If you like what you just heard, consider hitting the subscribe button and bell icon to get notified about new videos. If there's a part you've missed, then check out the entire playlist on screen. If you like this story, please share it with your fellow anime lovers. Any support helps a lot. That's all for now. This is Ninja Kai, disappearing in a golden flash.